Hello everyone, we are somewhere new now. So we left Traverse City. We are now in Grand Haven, Michigan, which is about 2.5, maybe 3 hours south of Traverse, kind of our midpoint stop on the way back to Chicago. But I don't know if you can see some beautiful plants behind me, but I am currently in the Spring Meadows test garden. So Spring Meadows is a nursery here and they grow flowering shrubs, and they are the providers of flowering shrubs for proven winners. So when you see a hydrangea, for example, from proven winners, it came from here. I have been here before. This is actually my second time. So last July, I believe it was, we were invited out here for a creators event. I was here with a bunch of other lovely online gardeners, well, in real life gardeners who also share what they do online. And this time we're just here on our own. So my husband is somewhere wandering around. I'm gonna wander around with you guys and show you some plants. Now, one thing I do have to say, these are the rules of the tour here. I can show everything from afar, but there are plants here, some plants that have been released. There are some plants here that haven't because it is the test garden. So I can show everything from afar, but I can't show anything up close unless I recognize that it's the name of a plant that has already been released to the public. Probably to err on the side of caution. I'm not going to do that many close-ups, but just to let you know kind of what is going on here. But I am very grateful that they're letting me at least like show off what the gardens look like, even if I can't get up super close and give you a bunch of details on everything that is growing here. But it is just so beautiful, and I'm so excited to just get to wander around. It's a sunny day, but it's a cool day. I'm very excited to be outside and not covered in sweat. I've really missed that feeling. So let's go ahead and I will wander you around the Spring Meadows test garden. And we are going to begin with what so far has been my favorite part of the garden. We just got here a little bit ago, but I've only seen a little bit of everything that there is to offer here. I already have a camera roll full of this section. And what's great about being here at this time of the year too is the last time I was here, it was July. Now it's September, so I'm getting to see a lot of really beautiful fall color, especially on the panicle hydrangeas. So this is just a hydrangea room. That's what I'm calling it. If you follow Grow For Me Gardening, Eric and Christopher, this reminds me of their hydrangea room. And I have, my 9 compact dwarf hydrangeas on my deck, but oh, this would be so wonderful to have. I love hydrangeas so much, and I love all hydrangeas. Panicles do best in Chicago, although if I am storing them over winter in the garage, it doesn't matter if they are a little bit less cold hardy, certain varieties. But panicles, if you're growing them outside in Chicago or want to leave them out in containers, they are the most cold tolerant of the species. Those and mountain hydrangeas do the best for me. But like I said, if I'm growing any of the macrophyllus, I'm gonna overwinter them in the garage. Just coming around this hydrangea room, the urge to again frolic and run my hands through the hydrangeas is very strong, but I'm resisting it because I'm sure it's okay if I like touch a flower, but oh, these are just stunning. And this has really been the summer of hydrangeas for me because I went to Cape Cod Hydrangea Fest with Grow For Me Gardening and Sky from Hamilton House Designs, and I got to frolic through the hydrangea fields at the Bailey Nurseries event. So I have really just had a summer full of hydrangeas, and I am so grateful because I love hydrangeas so much. To give you an idea of the layout, this is where the hydrangea room is. There are grass paths everywhere through the plants. There are also some roads to drive up and down on, and then there are even more paths this way. I'm not sure which way to go because there's so much beauty, but maybe we'll start this way. We'll walk towards that beautiful hydrangea down that path, and then maybe I'll head over to the water, but there's so much more even down that road. Now, I also do think there's a chance I might be able to get some footage tomorrow morning in this garden. So I think I'm going to try to do that. I think what I'm planning on is I will wander around today with you, figure out which spots I love the best, even though again, everything truly is incredible, but figure out which spots I love the best. And then in the morning, go to those places first. Oh, a smoke bush tree. So I love smoke bushes. I really want one. That would be really nice in a container. Some roses. But hydrangeas are definitely, I feel like, the star of the show. I mean, in this garden, but pretty much anywhere too. Coming around the corner here, looks like there's a bit more shade. Head this way. So right where that fence is a road, pretty busy road. So you can sometimes hear traffic, but I mean, it's not very busy around here. So it is incredibly serene and peaceful. It's also hard to decide how much I should talk while we walk through here versus how much more relaxing it would be to just look at the flowers and not hear my voice in the background. But maybe if I'm back here tomorrow morning, I will go ahead and not talk and let you enjoy the sounds of nature. Question, how do you guys feel about yellow trees? So for that, for example, I don't know if I love yellow trees. I like yellow variegated leaves, like plants with leaves that are green with some like light neon green or yellow variegation, but sometimes when I just see a tree like that, I kind of think it looks dead, but then I do like the mix of colors. I don't know. What do you guys think about yellow trees in general? Headed now to a little bit more shady of an area, and I think I remember this area from when we were here before. There is a really stunning hydrangea hedge coming up. This isn't the one I'm thinking of yet, but I did want to stop and show you this. So this is the driveway in here. Can you imagine? And I think this is how it was at Cape Cod, at their actual driveways to their homes. But if you got to pull in your driveway every day, just down a beautiful hedge of hydrangeas. Oh, I love the shape of these trees. Not that I have any place for trees that size, but I love the shape of those. Yeah, this is so stunning because a lot of the hydrangeas where the blooms were still like that creamy white when we were here last year are now that like deep rosy pink that a lot of the panicles turn to in the fall. So it's just so much more pink, which I think if you've been here for a while, you know, is in fact my favorite color. So I actually just ran into the owner of Spring Meadow. They were planting something because the garden is never done, and that was really great. So he's really kind. His name's Dale. Letting me wander around here is just so nice of him, so I'm so excited. But also, I am a little bit proud of myself because I just started gardening, again, really getting into it 2019. I didn't go to school for it before, although I'm getting my horticulture certification now, but I could tell I'm much better at being able to have a conversation with people that have been gardening for many, many years, and this is their background. So it's just nice to know that I am learning, or that I actually have learned something over these last few years of gardening. But now we're gonna head that direction because there are a lot of acres here to cover. I don't know if I showed you the river yet, but so the road borders one side, and then this is the Grand River, I believe, borders the other side, which can you ask for anything more than a garden full of beautiful plants right next to a body of water? And I have seen some boats go by, and I've also seen some fish and turtles. Here's the hydrangea hedge I remember. So there are wetlands behind, and I really like the look of the hydrangeas and then the cattails behind it, but I'm going to just walk along this hydrangea hedge so you can see how far down it goes. Not done yet, need to go around the corner. Still going. Still turning. There we go, and it ends up there next to the wetland area. And then this trail is going to continue to even more plants. So that's where we're going to go now. Look at these little compact hydrangeas. Oh, I love my compact plants. I don't know what it was, but I just heard something which sounded fairly large scurry and jump into the water. Oh, I haven't seen any kittens pop out from anywhere yet, but if I'm in a garden full of hydrangeas and 10 kittens pop out, I'll probably be so excited I will pass out. So maybe it's for the best if that doesn't happen. Oh, I'm just kidding. I would love to see kittens here. Oh, look at the color of these panicle hydrangeas right now. See, I know that a lot of people think the panicle hydrangeas are boring because the blooms are white, but they are not white in the fall. I mean, some of them do stay white, but a lot of them turn a very beautiful shade of pink. There's one of the boats going by. Some more gorgeous panicle hydrangeas. They really are, I feel like, the star of the garden right now. Oh my gosh, look at this section of these tiny little hydrangeas. When the wind blows, I mean, it's their flowers, I want to say their heads are bobbing, but their flowers are bobbing. I think this is so cute. All right, I've reached the end of the trail where it wraps around. So now we're headed back the way we came. All right, I'm back in the hydrangea room because that is definitely my favorite area, even though everything is stunning. But I mean, maybe there's some places I missed. I feel like I covered at least the main cement path, and then some of the grass paths that go off. I probably missed a few of those, but this is just the eye candy of the garden, at least right now. And that's what's really cool, again, seeing gardens at different times of the season, because when I was here in July, it was definitely other parts that caught my eye more than this, because again, all the panicle hydrangea flowers were still white. Other flowers that are now kind of faded were more the bright pinks and bright blues. So that is why I love gardening so much, because it's different, I swear, every single day. So that's the end of this part, but not the end of the video. So again, I'm at the Spring Meadows test garden, and they are the ones that provide the flowering shrubs for proven winners. Tomorrow, we're gonna head over to Zeeland, Michigan, which is very close by, and we're gonna go to Walter's Gardens, who does the perennials for proven winners. And if I remember correctly, Walter's Garden has 2 cats, at least. So hopefully we'll see them as well, even though we're mainly going there for the plants. But I think we're gonna get a tour of the hibiscus fields, which I'm really excited about. So that's gonna be the plan for tomorrow. But in the morning, I'm gonna try to come back out here and at least get some video of this in the morning, of the river, and just show you what it looks like at golden hour in that time of the day. So that's it for now. But again, I will see you in what will be for you just a few seconds, and for me, the next day. I hope you enjoyed that little morning stroll through the gardens. It is so incredibly peaceful here. I mean, I still love being able to start the morning in my garden with the view of the church and all my plants. There's a different feeling of peace when you're starting the morning, not in the middle of nowhere, but it's a different feeling than being in the middle of a city. So it was really nice to be able to walk around, see all the beautiful plants as the sun was rising over the river. So now we are headed out to Walter's Gardens, which is in Zeeland, Michigan, so not too far away from Spring Meadow. And again, they grow all of the perennials for proven winners. So I think we're going to tour the greenhouse, some of their planting fields outside. And again, fingers crossed, we see at least one cat, but I believe they have two.
Switch varieties, we stop and we give it about 10 feet before we start the next variety. So if we walked out to the end of this batch of Cinderella, there'd be about 10 feet before, what is this, Candy Crush? Before Candy Crush starts. Yeah, cookies and cream is pretty sharp. I really like Candy Crush. I like that flower color. Yeah.
Watermelon ruffles.
Watermelon ruffles has got a lot of attention because it's got that incredible, like, ruffled flower.
Yeah. See, this one feels less tropical to me then compared to the flower shape of that one. Like, it's almost like a giant rose.
Rosa as a genus has a ton of different species, really well represented. It's on like every continent, I think, in some form, which has led to a lot of interspecific breeding and hybridizing, which is why you almost never see Rosa species when you look at the botanic names of things. It's very much the same thing with daylilies and hostas, where you never see like the regular species anymore. But this has all been prepped. So these were all cut down, and that's about what we'll take.
And then that potato type machine comes through and that's what digs it up?
And digs all this stuff up.
Okay.
It probably goes deeper than the 6 inches that I said for the hibiscus, but we have more space in between the rows. Typically we plant on 12 inches, but here with hibiscus, because it gets so big, I think it's 18 inches or 2 foot wide. Because we do a wheel planter, everything is perfectly spaced out. So then when we do dig it, we know exactly, based on our expected yield for a certain crop, like we're expecting 93% of these plants to be alive.
Okay.
Then when we dig it, when we know we're trying to dig out 300 plants, we know exactly how many feet we need to dig in order to get that exact number.
I like this one.
I like the sensor one. Seem to be the most open.
This is Evening Rose. I like the dark foliage and the hot pink flower.
So I run the naming committee, but we have 20 some people who submit names for plants, and then we go through a couple rounds of voting. So first round, it's hey, here's a picture of the plant, here's the characteristics, primary characteristics, and then it's some combination of sales, production, marketing, new plant development, inventory. Cool. The drive here that are all of our proven winners perennials within the kind of the sun, that take full sun. Then we have kind of our top items going back 5 years, and then we have a tiny bog garden, our hardy hibiscus hedge, so that's what most of the hibiscus in our garden look like now.
Do you want to come see what's going on? Hi. Hi. Hey, baby.
Next thing you know, driver in here.
Midnight Velvet Sedum.
Yeah.
Just a little bit further along.
I like that color. Yep.
Cutting it back, just always keeps looking fresh. So mature height, usually about 3 feet. Got another friend.
So if I kept deadheading or using them for cut flowers, how small could I maybe keep it?
You'd probably keep them shorter because they're going to, like, the new flushes are trying to outcompete the old flush. So if you pulled that old flush out, it should in theory flower at a shorter height.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna stay 12 inches tall. It's even become out legal now, but it just pulls right out, and then where it comes out, it makes a new eye. So then it also triggers a new wave of growth. So it's one where the more you pull out, the more flowers you can actually get. So
They're
it's got
pretty.
that super black foliage. They're getting a little bit.
Do they want full sun or no? Can they do like the regular?
Goes full sun to full shade.
Okay, full sun to full shade.
More moisture and full sun
Okay.
to make sure that doesn't happen.
Because this is one of the plants that we don't have it in our parkway, but our neighbors, not this variety, but they have it in their parkway and it does well. So I feel like with the hostas, I should add some of this in there too.
It has a stoloniferous habit, so it's used to like spreading a little bit
Okay.
through runners. So it's
Too
not
aggressively or not too
not
aggressively?
aggressive.
Okay.
It's one of the least aggressive ground covers that you can get.
Okay.
But I mean, without weeding, you see complete weed suppression
Yeah.
because it's doing it around the roots of the Bradford pear, which are notoriously dense.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have that complete coverage, and it's semi-evergreen. So
That would be really pretty.
depending on the year, you might not have to clean it up at all, or you might just have to take some of the dead foliage out.
Okay. And what was this variety?
This one is Domino.
Oh no.
We have some newer ones coming through the Proven Winners program now.
Okay.
Love Sweet Leaf from Proven Winners.
That's really beautiful. I don't think I've seen one this full of flowers.
Best in that kind of part shade.
Yeah.
We'll go full sun with more moisture. You saw it get a little crispy at the end of the bed. It bloomed earlier in full sun as well. But it really likes this kind of in-between light levels.
And how long does it bloom for again? You said a couple months?
It can bloom for over a month, 2 months.
Okay.
Depends on how cool the fall is you get. Stoloniferous habit though, so you do have just that carpet of foliage.
Yeah.
So a really good weed suppressor as well.
And what
If
variety
you're-
is this one again?
Fall in Love Sweetly.
Sweetly, okay.
Things that run, like the epimedium or the anemone, like if you're worried about it taking over a garden, like people will put them in containers
Okay.
to keep them under control. But I mean, I usually would say like foliage first. Perennials do best in containers, right?
Okay.
Because if you want something that's seasonal, like a perennial that blooms, then it's kind of done for the year. So most of them kind of fall
Yeah.
apart. Or if it's one like a perennial salvia where, you know, you cut it back and it's going to reflush, you still have that 3 to 4 weeks in between when it comes back, where it's not really pulling its weight.
I also learned in a foraging class we took that you could eat them, which I did not know.
Yeah, plantain lily sported into this variety, which has a gold margin in spring that then ages to this white. This is first frost, and then we found out of first frost autumn frost, which is in the Proven Winners program. So you can see it's still, even though we're in September, there's a little bit of that chartreuse greening within the margin. Much more compact plant, true front of the border hosta. Then you have the elevated tetraploid form of halcyon with the center variegation.
Oh, that's cool.
Most pronounced in spring, kind of fades through the summer. That's June, which is a wider margin sport in the middle. And then High Society, which is the white central margin.
This one might be my favorite.
All progeny of halcyon.
Oh.
Hostas, it takes us a good bit of time to get to the market because we have to do it through tissue culture. They're a little bit slower than your average plant to initiate in tissue culture. And there are a whole bunch of sunken peat bogs in here, which is where we have all of the pitcher plants
Yeah.
scattered throughout. like kiddie swimming pools.
Oh, okay.
They have winter interest. Those flutes can stay up all winter long. Some varieties better than others. One of the varieties that we currently have in our catalog, Bug Bat, is really sturdy. It's in a container.
I like that.
So
That's
you just
cool.
want to seal it off for drainage.
Okay.
And then you want to use a peat mix.
Okay.
They do not like too much nutrition.
Perfect.
If they get too much nutrition, then they kind of develop a flat leaf and they won't actually make the pitcher.
Okay.
'Cause the point of the pitcher is to get that nutrition by eating the bugs. So if they have everything that they need, they're going to turn that leaf into a leaf that's better for photosynthesis.
Well, hello. We are now home back in Chicago. So it was about a 3-ish hour drive from Walter's Gardens, and we gained an hour coming back. So that is always nice. But what an incredible trip. We were gone for, I think, about 5-6 days total, and got to see so many gardens and so many cats. And I am so incredibly thankful to both Spring Meadows and Walter's Gardens for letting us come and tour through their gardens. So that was such a good time. Now we're back. My garden looks great. Maybe I'll pop out really quick and just show you how it's doing. So I have somebody who comes and waters. Happy Toad Gardens is the name of the company. And they also do like landscaping and putting containers together as well. But most of my garden is set up on irrigation. The front timer that has to function to run the irrigation, I got an alert literally the day we left, as soon as we got to Traverse City, that the battery was dead. So it wasn't running. So I had to text them and be like, hey, could you also just water the whole front deck? I am so sorry. So it was really nice that they did that, because originally it was like 10 pots and then it was the whole front deck. But everything is looking really great. The only thing that's making me a little bit sad is that when I went out to check my gardens, I haven't seen the pigeons yet. And usually they're like right there when I'm there. So I don't know if being gone for a few days made them forget about me, but hopefully they'll be back soon. So I'm gonna pop out. I'll show you how the gardens are looking. And then that's gonna be it for this video. So back deck is looking good. All of the plants that are not on irrigation, I moved to the center here, so on the table and in front of the table. They also know that the super petunias are not hooked up to irrigation, so that's what they watered back here. Everything else was running on irrigation, so that is good. There are some things that are starting to fall over, as tends to happen this time of the year as well. But I haven't done a full deep dive into every little crevice yet, but nothing looks like it's dying. Everything still looks really good. Over here on the front deck, now everything that was over on the table and then the pots in front, that was originally what had to be watered, and everything else was on drip, including all of my tiny herb pots. But of course, as soon as we left, the battery died, so they had to water everything. And they did, and I'm very grateful. Also, every time I leave, my rose tries to take over the deck, but things are looking really good. I am not going to do any work today because I have to do a bunch of unpacking and laundry. Still no signs of the pigeons, still making me nervous. But that's going to be everything for this video. So if you have any questions about the coast of Michigan, things that we've done, let me know, because I really do love this road trip, and we've done it now 3 or 4 years. That we try to make sure we go up the coast every summer because it's just so pretty. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any favorite spots along the way that I haven't stopped at yet, so I can add those to our list. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.